So today we're on board the Saxdor 320 GTC on Southampton waters. This boat was first introduced in 2022 and it had a single 300 option as the entry-level engine option for it. Since then they've now changed that to twin 200s, so the twin 200 V6s. So the engine selections available now are twin 200s as standard, twin 225, also V6s, or twin 300s. Today we're going to give this boat a full sea trial, put it through its paces, let you see how it handles, and ultimately from these engines the performance. Also in a few weeks time we will be testing another Saxdor 320 GTC with larger engines. We'll also be testing the 340 GTWA and a 270 GT with twin 200s. So this particular Saxdor 320 GTC is a 2024 model. It's pretty much got the specification that 99% of the boats have that come to the UK. So it's got the heating, it's got the anchor, it's got the stove, twin GPS displays, bow thruster, auto trim tabs. It's also got a simulated teak by Evo decking. So we'll now head over to Netley, anchor up and do a full on water walkthrough. So we've just anchored up at Netley. It's fairly breezy, there's about 20 knots of wind, a little bit of chop, but it's always good to see how the boat sits here under anchor anyway. So we're now going to do a full video walkthrough of the boat. I'm starting at the back of the boat and I'll work my way forward. So going out of the boat from the wheelhouse, which is nice and warm at the moment with the heating on, you just go through this door here, slide over and it locks into place. So on a day like today, if we're rocking about a bit, the door's not going to slam to and take your fingers. So starting at the back of the boat, we've already talked about the engines, but obviously this is where they're located. You've got a full walkthrough from side to side here, and there is an optional ski pole available on this boat, which this one actually isn't fitted with, but that would go just here on the centre of the engines. Also on the floor area here, and I definitely won't be using it today, there is a swim ladder located under here, which flips out and drops into the water. So on the subject of the floor, this boat is fitted with an aftermarket product called Evo decking. There is now a product very similar to this available from the factory on a new order. You can either spec it with no floor or you can go for the foam flooring option, which you will have seen on previous boats. So there are transom gates on here as well, which if you've got little ones, little dogs or whatever, or if you want to stop your gear getting blown overboard, your fenders or whatever, they're a good feature. But they're also very stylish. These ones have got a teak topping on it and they're stainless steel. So this boat's fitted with the rear seating module and teak table. There is a new seating module available for 2025. If you want to see what that looks like, please click here. So the way this seat works here is it's got room for at least 4 people. As you can see, I'm sat quite comfortably there. If I push up a little bit, we can easily get 4 people here. The table is adjustable in height and it also flips out to extend it. Now you can also get, which we have actually got in this boat at the moment, 2 director's chairs, which are an aftermarket thing, which you can fit either side of the table there to dine 6 or even 7 people. So underneath this seat, you've got a really good storage locker, which isn't perfectly presented at the moment, but it has all our covers, fenders, ropes in there at the moment. The other thing I'm going to show you now is this backrest will flip from the position it's in now to a complete mirror, so it's facing here, so you can sit facing aft, and then you can also drop the table down and drop this down again on top of it to make it into a nice sunbathing area. So there's room for 2 here now to lie in the sun, in addition to the sun pad in the front of the boat. So one of the many features that sets this boat apart from the competition is these sides on this boat and the 320 GTO also drop down. So they're drop down side terraces. To release them, you press the mechanical release here, which releases it from the lock. And then you go over to here, press the lock button and the starboard terrace down button. So with this side down now, it has a 150 kilogram limit. As you can see, when I'm walking on it, it's not affecting the balance of the boat at all, so it still remains extremely stable as a boat. Obviously it is pretty windy, as I say, 20 miles an hour of wind. We're anchored head on into it at the moment, and there's a bit of a chop as well, so it just shows you how good this boat is. You know, any water that does ever come over will just disappear. Put the other side down, it's a repeat, it's a reverse of what I did over there. So press the mechanical release, press the lock button here, port terrace down, and as you can see, same again on here. So there's a large locker in the floor as well for storage, but it's also got the two director's chairs in there I spoke to you a moment ago. There's plenty of grab handles on this boat, and there's a rail that runs all the way around the whole of the roof for security. There's some downlighters up here in the roof as well, which gives the rear cockpit a nice feeling in the evening. There's also two steps on each side that can take you aside to a side deck, which will take you the whole way around the boat, but you don't need to do that because you can just walk straight through the boat, through this door and through the forward one. Access back into the cabin is very straightforward again. Pull the lever down, and as I'll show you, there are a number of locks which, if you let go of it, it will hold itself into position and lock so no one gets injured. So coming inside to the cabin, as I said previously, this boat has got the perfect UK specification. So you've got a module here, like a kitchen module with a surface that you can use for preparation or just for putting things on. But under here, it hides a Wallace 2-burner diesel hob. This boat's also got diesel heating, so you don't need shore power to make yourself a coffee out at sea or to have the heating on. It works really, really well. Next to the stove, you've got this sink with a cover on it as well, stainless steel with a tap and a drain. So directly below this, you've got two huge lockers, which at the moment they're housing just some covers and some cloths, but they can be kitted out exactly how you want them to be. Now this boat is available with options of fridges. This is specified with one fridge, which I always do on a stock boat, which is under here, and I'll show you in a moment, but it's also possible to add an additional fridge to here. Now there is quite a lot of storage space underneath this, which is why we don't always fit it. It depends what the customer's requirements are. This boat's got the standard carpet on the floor inside here, and then over to this side you've got obviously a rear bench seat, a table that opens up, and obviously you've got the two Helm seats on the starboard side, which also spin round to convert this into a dining area. So the table on this boat is the additional sleeping option. So this is actually electronic, the table. This drops down. Well, it's adjustable anyway, just for convenience, but it drops down. You then just use this backrest as one of the infill cushions. So by using that, it actually increases the amount of space you've got to sleep. There's also storage over to the side. So when you're sat here, you've got a fantastic view. You've got 360 degrees of glazing, so you can see all the way around. And when this table is open, you've also got this grab handle here, which just gives you some reassurance if you're in choppy water. But it is a very comfortable position to sit in, both for dining or as a passenger when underway. So in total, there's 3 forward-facing Helm seats. These two here both have the same functionality. They both slide backwards and forwards. They both have flip-up bolsters, and they both spin 360 degrees. The one on the port side is the same seat, but it's fixed, and it has a flip-up bolster, but also a drop-down step here for the convenience, comfort and security of the passenger. There's also a grab handle for this passenger to the left. So one of my favourite features on the Saxdor 320 GTC is the roof. The roof is a one-touch open electronic roof, and it makes this undercover boat an outdoor boat. So now with this roof fully open, you get a huge amount of air, light and a feeling of space in this boat. So combined with the front and rear doors as well at anchor, you've got a huge amount of air running through this boat, so it really does feel like you're outside even though you're in this cabin nice and safe. And for closing the roof, it's a one-touch close until it comes about here, where you've got to keep your finger on it for safety purposes, just to stop anyone getting their fingers trapped. So up at the helm on this boat, there's loads of great features, but it's also extremely well designed. Everything is where you need it to be and want it to be, and where it feels most comfortable being. The throttles are here. all digital throttles by Mercury. The steering wheel is wrapped in leather and it's got a stainless steel detailing on it. It's also adjustable in position or height. Over to this side we have got the speakers if you're selecting the audio package. This boat's also fitted with a VHF radio. There's a nice deep storage locker below it, and if you're a passenger over here, you've got a nice grab handle which gives you loads of security. You've also got a step here which you can brace yourself against. So directly in front of the passenger you've got a nice private storage locker over here. Directly below it you've got a wireless charging cradle for your mobile phones. Directly below that are two stainless steel cup holders. Tidily stored away in here is a remote control for both your windlass and your bow thruster. Obviously if you select both those options you get this with the boat. Along here you've got your bank of switches which are all backlit and they are also labelled so you know exactly what you're pressing. And over to the left there you have more banks of switches, this one being specific to the wipers and directly below it being specific to the windlass. To the right of the throttles we have the automatic trim tabs which are fitted on this boat. There's a couple of options available now on new orders where you would have automatic trim tabs or automatic trim tabs with a separate display. This boat's also fitted with a bow thruster which just makes this boat really easy to manoeuvre, or even easier to manoeuvre. Directly in front of the passenger and the driver there are two integrated 12-inch displays selected on this boat. Now you can set those up exactly how you want them. So for instance you can have your engine data on one side, which is what I've got set up at the moment, and the chart on the other, but you can split each of these into two sections. You can have different bits of information on them and really customize it how you want to see it. Personally I like to have all these bits of data showing all the time, so regardless of which screen I'm selecting here or here, I always know how fast I'm going or how deep it is, and the RPM, the height of the engines, the batteries, the fuel consumption and how much fuel you've got, which is all really important information in my opinion to have to hand at all times. So following on from what I said earlier about the diesel heating and diesel stove being fitted on this boat as a perfect UK specification, this boat is fitted with the diesel heating. When you have diesel heating fitted on this boat, it's very similar to a heating system in a house. You can set a timer to come on, you can set it to come on for a certain time. There's lots of things you can do with it. It doesn't require shore power to work, so it's just running off the house batteries as previously mentioned. But what you've got on here, which is great on an all-weather boat where you've got the windscreen, is demisters running straight onto the windscreen, and they're adjustable in angle as well, which personally I find extremely helpful. You can access the front of the boat by going down the side decks, but you really don't need to on this boat. It's far nicer, more comfortable, safer feeling just to go through the door at the front. So to get through the door here, you push on this mechanical release here, the door opens, you pull this back and forcefully put it into position against the console, so it's not going to then slam to on you, and then literally walk through. As you walk through the boat, you've got a grab handle that runs the full length all the way down. There's steps up and it brings you through to this huge sun lounger area. As you can notice, the simulated teak on this boat is continued right the way through onto the front. The same would be said if it had the foam flooring. You've also got the grab handle that runs down this side in addition to this side, so it's an extremely safe place to be. I'm actually sat on top of the anchor locker at the moment, but you've got the cleats here. It's another extremely secure area to sit in. So the sun lounger on the front is very comfortable for two large adults. It has a cup holder either side. It's got the sound system up here as well with the backlit speakers, which add a really nice touch up here, but it is a very nice, comfortable place to be. When you are sat up here on a nice day, the wheelhouse behind you actually blocks a lot of wind, so it's actually a very sheltered area to be. Both these centre cushions are removable, and when you remove those, you've got access in or out of the cabin down below. So the roof also has a cover for storage when you're not using the boat, which clips onto the poppers down both sides and pulls tight on these strap holes on the front. So the final place to show you on this boat is packed full of features, and it's the cabin down below. So to open the door, you pull this lever, slide it across, and then flip over the retaining latch at the bottom to save everyone's fingers when it's rough. So it's 2 steps down into the cabin. So down here you can see there's a huge bed for 2 people. You can sleep either way with your head in there or head out here. There's a storage track or shelf rather all the way around. Directly above your head you've got 2 large windows which open, which are escape hatches or just ventilation. They go straight up onto the sun pad area on the front. Obviously when you've got your sun pad over it, it gives you lots of privacy anyway. You've got a light on each side for reading, which can be used either in white or red. You've also got overhead lighting in the boat. On the subject of overhead lighting, you've got 2 extremely large windows here, which are fantastic on a day like today when you want lots of lighting. But if you want privacy on it, the boat does come with some blinds that clip on the top to give you full privacy down below. There is a seat over to that side for sitting down, getting changed on. There is a electric socket down to that side, and there's charging points down here for your 12-volt devices. So over to this side of the boat, you've got another seating area for doing your makeup, getting changed or whatever, and you've got a sink to the side. There's some cupboards with storage, and you've got another overhead cupboard here with mirrors on. And then directly under this seat, when you flick it up, put the bolt into position, there is a full electric toilet. For privacy in the toilet, this door here that's held open comes open and around. So with this toilet cubicle closed off, you push this lever here and this latch here, open this, it opens a huge wardrobe area for storage with shelves down below. So we've just finished our full on-water practical walkthrough here at Netley Abbey. The weather has changed quite a bit, the wind's picked up, the sea state's changed a bit, but we're now nevertheless going to get the boat off the anchor and get it out and do the full sea trial. So as I said previously, this boat's fitted with the twin 200 V6s from Mercury. This boat, as I said again previously, has a pretty much full specification on it. There is 215 litres of fuel. There's a full tank of diesel, which is probably around about 20-25 litres, and a full tank of water as well. So the boat's pretty well loaded, so it gives you a really good idea of how the boat performs. There's 2 of us on board, lots of camera gear, heavy batteries and stuff, so you know it's a loaded up boat. The wind is continuing to increase, so too is the chop in the Solent here, or in Southampton waters. So we're going to put it through its paces for you and show you exactly what it does. So this boat is equipped with automatic trim tabs, which are turned off at the moment. It also has the Mercury Auto trim as standard, which I've turned off. And the drives are both, or the engines are both fully trimmed in. So that's how I'm going to run with the boat for starters. And as we go through the sea trial, I'll then maybe turn some of these functions on. So just very gently bring that onto the plane, really quiet, not putting any effort into that at all. Nice and quiet in here, sheltered from the wind. We're up at 18 miles an hour at the moment, saying it's using 50 litres an hour, but we're not fully planing there. As I say, I'm only just touching the throttle gently. I'll show you how quick it is off the mark afterwards. So we're doing 23 miles an hour now. We're doing 58 litres an hour. And I say the boat's running true, nice and quiet as well. Put it into a few gentle turns. So I'm just going to give this wide open throttle downwind now. I just had it up when we weren't filming to pretty much 50 mile an hour, but we're at 45 already. Trim is up a little bit at the moment, 12% trim, 47.5, 48. 48.5, 49. Yeah, so it's topping out at 49 there at the moment. I'll ease it off a bit. Just put it into a turn, trimmed back in. Trim tabs are off, by the way. No real loss of power into the turn other than when I took my hand off the throttle. So much power on tap, ready to use on this boat. You just feel like you want to use it all the time. And because it's so good in a chop, you just do use it.
boat's done about 5 or 6 hours. It's actually done 7 hours already, this boat, just with us testing it and everything. So it's okay to give it a blast. I'm at 40 mile an hour, 5,000 and a bit RPM. Wide open throttle there now. Pretty much 43 miles an hour. And I'm now going to start giving it a little bit of trim. I say we're head on into the wind at the moment and a bit of a chop. There we are, we're at 45 now. We'll just ease off a bit to give the cameraman a break. All goes very quiet all of a sudden. So back to just taking it nice and easy at 32 miles an hour. We're doing 56 litres an hour, and it's a nice, really quiet and comfortable speed to be running at. So I'm going to put it into a few turns. It's effortless in its turns, grips really nicely. One of the things I love about this boat is the visibility. As I said previously, you have got glazing all the way around. There's no blind spots anywhere really at all. You've got fantastic view, both sides. You can see the front, both corners of the boat as well. And obviously when you have the roof open, it just brings everything in even more. Pretty much stationary now. Trim all the way in. And I'll just give it pretty much full speed. The plane, and we're there 20 mile an hour straight away, 25, 27, 30, 32. Yeah, the wind is behind us. I'm happy to do it the other way as well. We're like 36, 37 mile an hour. Trim's not being touched and the boat's running true. I'm going to turn it round now and head it back into the wind, and I'm going to put the trim tabs on this so you can just get an indication on what that does to any bouncing in the chop. Again, the steering on this boat is really light. It's all hydraulic power steering, and the throttles are all fly-by-wire. So we're heading straight on into the chop at the moment. I'm just going to put the bow into the chop with the trim tabs. Which settles it right down. And it just makes it a lot more comfortable than it already is, but it allows you just to travel more comfortably at lower speeds in a chop. And I say this chop is pretty confused at the moment. There's ferries out here, there's all sorts of traffic in addition to the wind and the tide. So that's the end of our full on-water sea trial and video walkthrough on the awesome Saxdor 320 GTC in, as you can see, pretty windy and choppy conditions. I hope it's given you a good idea of what the boat's capable of and all the features that are on board. If you'd like to see any more information on anything in the Saxdor range, please follow us on YouTube, visit our website, or you can give us a call on 01758 703 013. For more Saxdor videos, please click here, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please click here. Thank you for watching.